Good morning. I'm joined this morning by Noel Reeves from Rocket Exhibition Services, who's very kindly agreed to talk to me this morning just about how he's handled the situation, because his business has gone into a complete lockdown, or hibernation as I know you like to call it. And I've been very impressed with how you've handled things in the last 2 weeks, from that initial day and weeks of the early days of shock and denial, and how quickly you've bounced back and how resilient and how much leadership you've shown. And it's really stood out to me. And I thought there'd be some really good examples for other business owners to maybe learn something from. So why don't you just tell us a bit about your business and how you've been hit in particular?
Yeah, sure. So Rocket Exhibition Services, we design and build exhibition stands mostly for trade shows for customers from all over the world, but mostly building in the UK. We service about 600 customers a year. At probably 250 events. We're a 7-day-a-week operation. Very busy. We grew 50% last year. We were on target to grow another 30% this year. Had a record Q1, absolutely flying until the beginning of March, where the impact of coronavirus started leading to cancellations and postponements of events. So we were like I say, we were in a great position at the start of March. And then it all changed very rapidly, almost like a set of dominoes, events just dropping or moving, none of them really cancelling, just being postponed to later on in the year. We thought initially we were going to sort of see all the events in April, which would have been a big deal for us to lose all of our April order book, which was basically happened within a week. And we thought, okay, this is pretty severe, but we were perhaps naive, or looking back, very naive to think that it would only be for April. So our team were getting a bit concerned, worried. So we reassured everyone, look, we think it's only going to be for April. Business as usual. Yes, it's going to impact us, but we're in a strong position. We're a good business. We've got a great order book. But then within a week, it became apparent that then we lost May and June's shows, or most of them, and we needed to act fast. So. That's what we did.
So what did you do then? I mean, how quickly did you take action? What practical things did you do?
Yeah, so within a week, so I was away on holiday and came back on the Monday. And by that time, we'd had one customer pull out from a show. By the end of that week, we lost a whole month's worth of work, probably about £150,000 worth of work for that to be delivered in April, got moved. We then started to lose the rest of March and into June. So within a week, we'd communicated to the team to say, look, it's all okay. We think we've got a handle on it. And then obviously it changed entirely again. So, but my senior team and I were talking obviously on a daily basis. Everybody knew what was happening. It was all very open, and we'd get phone calls, this show's postponed, or it was a lot. Everything happened very quickly. So for me, the communication and keeping everybody in the loop as to what was happening was absolutely paramount. But also understanding that we didn't really know the true picture because it was changing on an hourly basis. So yeah, we knew, okay, we're in a situation. We quickly realised the things that we could cope or could control was, what does this look like on the other side? So within a week, we'd worked out, we don't know how long this period's going to go for. So how much money do we need to keep in the bank whilst we still have money? Let's work out what we need, ring fence that amount of money so we can still honour and deliver all of the projects we commit to, secure the business, secure the team, secure the future. And that was the first thing that we did, is to work that out. So then that was that job out of the way and that money put aside. So we know, right, okay, so we know what it looks like for when we come back. Now we can deal with the situation we're in and how long that's going to go on for.
That's a really important point, especially when you're going into this complete sort of shutdown or hibernation. I guess as long as you can keep those costs at a minimal level, it's quantifying the startup fund, isn't it? Because you've got to start again with materials, the labour you've got to spend before you can start invoicing and then get paid for those things. So actually, it's almost like a startup working capital you need. You can't afford to burn your cash. You've got to keep that cash set aside.
Exactly, and that is a bit, you know, the importance of that is the ring fencing and making sure that whatever happens, nobody's nose is going in that trough. That trough is down, and that's there. So now we know what have we got left to deal with. So who do we need to pay? How long can we continue to pay staff? Are we going to ask people to be laid off because some of the crew we had no work for anyway? Can we look at reduced working hours? What can we do? How long can we make them? We've got another pot of money, which how long can we make that stretch?
Yeah.
And we had to make some really difficult decisions because for me, I'm perhaps can be a bit of a soft touch sometimes, and I just want to help people. So I think, well, okay, how long can we continue to keep paying people at full pay until the point where we run out? Then we kind of realised, well, you know, it's obvious to really any business owner that that's not the right thing to do, and the right thing is to protect. And yes, and some, you know, we have to make sacrifices. So we all decided together as a team and all agreed to the fact that we would get paid for a month, and then we would all then accept basically a layoff on zero pay.
Yeah. And that's before furlough came in, wasn't it? You agreed.
That was before furlough came in. Yeah. So obviously that was the day before. So we had a bit of a party in the office. The atmosphere was amazing, and you know, I kind of expected. I think you kind of have to take responsibility for it. You know, it's not your fault, but you still feel responsible. Right?
Of course you do.
And I'm really I wasn't expecting people to be so kind, so supportive, so accepting of the situation. But I think that's a massive testament to the team that we've got. And that was amazing. So we all had a few beers, a few Coronas in the office before we closed down. On that Thursday, and then I think it was the Friday night that the furlough scheme got announced. So, you know, again, that, you know, I'm not ashamed to admit it, that, you know, I was sat in my front room with tears in my eyes.
Me too.
That obviously wasn't going to help me personally, but it was going to help all of my team, you know, so they can still survive and support their families and not have to go out and get second jobs on the front line, putting themselves and the families at risk, which some of them had gone and got other jobs straight away. So yeah, that was a massive relief, and that takes a bit of it just changes the dynamic of the issues. So now obviously we need to bankroll that scheme.
Yes. Big issue for a lot of people.
Yeah. So
are you applying for funding to do that, or have you got the cash to do that?
We've got the cash to do that, and up until we could meet, we worked out we could meet March, April, May's payroll.
Brilliant.
Possibly June as well, but we're expecting to get that money back.
I know. Yeah.
By then.
That's good.
So,
it just shows, isn't it, how important having that buffer cash in your business is.
Exactly.
Just so important to have that liquidity.
And that's all thanks to you, Serena.
Well, I tell people what to do. It's up to them to do it. Yeah,
well, of course. But yeah, like, you know, that was one of the best decisions I made going back a long time ago, was to get, well, I say a long time ago, nearly a year ago now, was to get support from you. So if anyone is looking for that sort of support after this, then I highly recommend.
Thank you. It's very kind. Not about me. Moving on.
No.
You mentioned before about keeping in touch with suppliers. What kind of approach have you taken to that?
Yeah, so we're not in a bad position with our suppliers, so that's obviously makes it a bit easier. But I think what I decided to do was that I would take the approach and contact everybody that we did work with on a supplier basis that was on our debtors list, just to make them aware of what's happening. And then just to talk to them and to say, look, we're okay. We're going to be paying you. We may be paying you a little bit late, just because we've got a cash flow forecast and we're trying to limit what goes out with what comes in. And what comes in is a massive issue, which obviously we haven't touched on yet. Because the way our model works is that we get deposits and balance invoices. Some stuff we are owed money for, that's work that's been done. Other things are for projects that we're working on, so human costs in terms of project management, or labour and material costs when we're manufacturing. So we've a different dynamic really. So we've got quite a large amount of money on our debtors list, which has remained quite a large amount of money for the last few weeks. We've actually taken any customer payments out of our cash flow forecast until it actually comes in, because we don't have, people just aren't paying. That's a general thing, is everyone's saying, hold on to your cash, hold on to your cash. But it doesn't really, it helps you, but it doesn't help everybody, if you know what I mean.
So we've been starting to talk about the fact that if you've got cash and you've got some liquidity in there, try to keep the money moving, because
exactly.
I mean, we haven't even started talking about debtors yet, because I think people are just not ready to pick up the phone and chase yet. It's a very tricky area, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, on your creditor side, I think what's impressed me about it is that you personally have taken that on yourself to make those calls, rather than wait for them to ring up and talk to your accounts department. You as the boss have rung them. And I think it's unusual, because most people we're talking to have not heard a word from the people who owe them money. They haven't proactively made contact, and that means then they've got that very tricky situation of, well, when do we chase? What do we say?
I think the whole point of, or one of the key things about this is communication. So communication with your team, with your suppliers, with your customers, with everyone really, and honesty and acceptance, and just accepting the situation. You can't change it. You can't change. It's out of our hands, or to a degree, it's out of our hands. You take control of what you can, but you can't change. So certain things you can't change. So you have to just face up to the situation, however bad it is, and just say, right, this is what I can do. So I can, what can I control? I can control how honest I am. I can control how, how much effort I'm going to put into, getting money in, paying money out, keeping people happy, doing the right thing. It sounds a bit cliched, really, but that is what I think. That's what we all need to do to come out the other side. In a stronger position as possible.
Just accept what we can change, and then take action on those things, and just let go of what we can't change.
Exactly. So get a grip, control the things that you can control.
It's a grip.
Things that you can't. Get a grip is kind of the is the biggest thing, isn't it? You've got to just face up to this situation, and get that, if your head's in the sand about what's either, because it might be, for us it happened very quick and was very clear. For other businesses, I guess it's not going to be. Supply chain further down the line will start to slow, materials coming in from overseas, or there's so many factors that can affect people in different ways. So there's one size fits all solution, but I think it's just being aware of that and thinking, okay, how deep does my supply chain go? What are the vulnerabilities, and what's going to affect me? Because I might have a massive order book and customers begging me for stuff, but I can't deliver it because either we have labour issues or supply issues. So I mean, thankfully we don't have those issues. We have other issues, but we just have to face up to them, deal with them. And like, I was saying to you earlier that I've spent the last sort of 2 years trying to move away from the front of our business, and working on the business, not in it, and developing the team and doing all those things.
It's all those classic things you're told to do, aren't you? Remove you from the business.
Exactly.
Self-sufficient, you not have to get involved in stuff. I know you've been doing brilliantly on that the last 2-3 months, haven't you?
I've been doing really, really well on that, and that's kind of put me, and in fact, even to the point where I think I might have said it to you, but I said it to some people, that I'm kind of struggling with my to fill my days with. I'm used to just being busy, and I need to sort this out, I need to do that, and I was just finally getting some breathing space, and I was able to golf. And actually spend some quality time on the things that are really important. But now I still have that time. But now I felt, whether it's right or wrong, I need to lead from the front. I need to be the voice, be the one I don't want someone else standing up for me and saying, this is the situation we're in, this is how we're going to help. The voice, I want to be that voice. I want to take any flack that's going to come. I want to reassure people and give them my, for what it's worth, lend my weight behind anything that we're doing, to say, any decisions we make will be for an honest reason, and will be the right thing to do, hopefully for us and everybody else. You can't take unilateral decisions. It's got to be based on
Yeah.
the right thing to do, not right thing for me, the right thing for them. It's what is the right thing for everybody.
The right thing, full stop. And there's so many businesses that I think have had the chance to show people who they really are through this, how honourably they've acted. And there are businesses who have just kind of been in denial, or they haven't behaved very well. And I think people are going to remember who stepped up and who behaved well, aren't they? And who, maybe like, the landlords that are shafting their tenants who aren't being helpful and flexible, the suppliers who aren't being helpful. You're going to remember those people. And you're going to choose not to work with them in the future.
Yeah, and that goes back to we all have choices to make, and you can choose to behave one way or bury your head, or you can just choose to stand up and be counted.
Yeah.
Be honest, and like I say, no matter how bad your situation is, the important thing is just to be honest, because it won't change the outcome if your landlord's beating at the door for rent money, hiding from them. It's not going to help. It's just going to, the situation doesn't change. It's just how you deal with it, and just having that conversation and saying, I can't, or this is what I can't do this, but I can do this.
And so you can do is communicate. You just mentioned something interesting. You mentioned about difficult times. And I know we've chatted before about how, as business owners, we've all been through tough times, and we go through tough times personally as well. Yeah. How do you think that's helping you at the moment?
A lot. I've been through tough times personally in previous business and personal life as well. And I don't really, like I said, I don't really dwell on it. We learn, move on. We've all had difficult situations, whether it is work or personal life, but the fact is you get through it. And I realized the other day when I was walking the dog and just thinking about these things and thinking, do you know what? I'm pretty resilient. And this is probably why I'm not stressed out, because I'm thinking, well, everyone's getting really freaking out about what's happening and, worried and stuff, and understandably so. But I just feel quite calm, and I'm okay because I feel like I'm in control. And
you've accepted what is. Sorry? And you've accepted what is.
I've accepted it, yeah. Like I'm in control of the bits that I can control, and I've accepted the bits that I can't.
That's
so we have a plan for getting back, whenever that will be. We're hoping that we'll be back into work in July.
Yeah,
is our hope at the moment. But we're okay if it goes a bit longer than that. But hopefully we'll be back in then, and ideally we'll be back in before then. That'd be amazing. But realistically, we don't think we'll be building stands probably until September.
Wow.
But we do have projects still booked in, and we're honoured to commit those, and I hope that they will go ahead. But our feeling is obviously our shop floor, our venues are being used as hospitals.
Yes, of course. Yeah, look at Excel, yeah.
Yeah, Excel, NEC, and management accounts for about 80% of our work across those three venues.
Wow.
And there are now hospitals, and we don't know for how long for. So,
you've really been hit hard, haven't you? I mean, literally, your entire revenue stream has just stopped dead.
Yeah, there is, and there's an argument for looking at, well, okay, what else do you do? You pivot, you think of something else, you do something else. We've got facilities to do other things. Yeah. But what do you do when you've spent years refining and getting your products offering absolutely bang on, and then to think of something else and try and get something else going? I'm not sure it's the right thing to do at the moment.
You probably not. No, I mean, you've got a very clear market, haven't you? And it really dilute. And we're going to come out of this.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And so what we're doing now is just working on that, the systems and processes, and looking at that and refining it and working out how we do things, interrogate deeper and have deep conversations and say, well, what can we change now whilst we've got this time to look at do things? Can we do it better?
Yeah.
Can we do it more efficiently? What can we change? So we're looking at that, and we actually are even we've even got video interviews set up for next week, because we were recruiting before we went into lockdown, and we're still keep that going. So we've just been assessing the situation and say, okay, we can't offer somebody a job now, but if we can find the right person now, we can say, well, look, this is when we hope to be back, and potentially it could be a job starting then.
I love that you're still interviewing, and that just shows what positive attitude you're taking to this. Like, no, we're going to come out of this, we'll still need those people.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, talking of people, now you put on LinkedIn this morning that kind of the photo of the lonely, empty office.
Yeah.
How are you kind of handling that? Everyone being at home. that remote working thing?
There's not really very much we can do at the minute other than just be there for customers. So we're not technically really working. We're kind of, some of us are still working. Some of my senior team are, like I say, we're having conversations around the systems and processes and what we want to change. And then other people are still in contact with customers, just finding out how they are.
Yeah.
Not we're not selling anything. We're not trying to do that, because again, it's something that we can't control. So what we can do is we can support people. So if we, just reaching out to people to see how are you, but that's all been done from home. People have laptops, and
yeah,
there's just a few of the guys really that are doing that. So we're available for customers if they have any questions or need support with anything. And just keeping an eye on the news, what's happening with events. We've got our Monday project management tool, monday.com, which has everything on it, and we're keeping up to date on a daily basis with that, just to, if shows do get postponed or moved, and what the impacts are, just communicating. So yeah, I mean, it's almost like I think it will happen for a lot of businesses. They'll realise they don't need as much space as they
definitely, or as many meetings.
Yeah, I mean, we're in the middle of renovating our offices to create more desk space. We're creating a collaborative working space, which we're still going to do that, and a new boardroom. So they're kind of halfway through. So it's just depressing going in, and it's just quiet and cold, and but you realise that actually that isn't the life and soul of your business. It's the people.
Yeah.
So we're keeping in touch with everybody on Teams or WhatsApp, and we're planning to have some. So we do social things, quarterly social stuff anyway. So we're going to do that over Teams or Zoom or something.
Yeah.
Games.
And I love the fact that you have a psychologist as well on your team, don't you, to look after the team's health?
Yes, we do. Yeah, Caroline Hamblin has been amazing. She's worked with us for the last probably 6 months, basically coming in 1 day a week to work with the team when we're in the office. People can just book on and have a session, and that's been amazing. And Caroline's very kindly offered her time, as a lot of professionals have, for free during that to the Rocketeers. She's reached out to them all. Here's my mobile number if you're struggling, because we accept that it's going to be lonely, it's going to be tough. People are now having to be teachers and cooks.
Yes.
They're used to having a real sense of purpose in their work, and that's now gone for the time being. And yeah, it's stressful, and I know that we're having to do that in our house as well.
Yeah. A lot of change, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and so I'm, you can offer out your own time as much as you like, but perhaps people might not always want to come to you with issues. But anyway, Caroline's there, and she's supporting the guys, and we're all in it together. I'd like to think that anyone on our team. I know I was actually on a Zoom call, on a Teams call with somebody yesterday, and she said, "Oh, look, there's Sam walking past the window, and he's putting a letter through the door." And some of them guys that are sort of being pen pals to each other. They live relatively close to each other, so they're just writing in the same envelope, reusing it, sending it back.
That's so lovely.
Yeah, just keeping in touch, and it's brilliant. Like the team that we've got is amazing, and I say that till I'm blue in the face before all of this, and this is just demonstrating it beyond any doubt how brilliant they are, and supporting each other and keeping in touch.
Just shows them the groundwork you do in your business. So the fact that you've worked so hard, I know you work with the coach, you work with us, you've done the groundwork, you've built your team, you've put your structures in place, you've worked on your financials, and it just shows how strong you were to cope with this crisis. Whereas I think a lot of businesses maybe are still in denial about things.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some stuff around on videos and LinkedIn and stuff that people I think are probably in denial about what's coming and when. So yeah, it goes back to what I said earlier about getting a grip. Got to get a grip. Got to understand and accept it. But equally positively, I've spoken to a lot of people, customers and suppliers, who are in the same situation, and they're accepting the same thing. They've got a grip. They're accepting it. They're controlling what they can. They're recognizing what the downsides are going to be, but also recognizing what the upsides are. Yeah. And just. There
will be upside, won't there? There will be upside from this.
There will be, for sure. And for everybody. I think everyone's going to be affected in different ways and to different degrees and at different times. And the upsides will also be different for different people.
Definitely, yeah.
We know we're going to have a very, very busy end of the year with all the events. It was usually our busiest time of year anyway, and with all the events that have been moved out of spring and into autumn. It's going to be a massive challenge, but you know, can't wait for it. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And on that positive note, Noel, that has been very useful. I've learned some new things that I haven't learned, things I hadn't thought of, some things that you're doing that'd be really useful for the people to use as well. So
Yeah, well,
thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks, Serena.
See you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.